So do you ever miss your volley? You miss an easy volley? Today we are going to be going over the top 3 reasons players miss their volleys. Reason number 1, players are like this. Their hands are down, their arms are down, their racket is down. The ball comes to them, it's coming, right? And I have to go all the way like this and then hit it. I'm too late, I missed the ball in the net. I'm just not ready. Instead of having your hands down, think that you're a boxer. Always make sure that your hands are up and out in front every single time, okay? Once again, I want to make sure my hands are always up, out in front. So if a ball's coming, all I have to do is this, rather if my hands are down, I have to go like this and then like that, okay? So what I want you to do is go out on court or even be in your basement, make sure you're not around any plates, anything that you can knock down, and just work on being ready, doing your approach shot, hit, and then again, your hands are going to be up. You can get a Topspin Pro right here, and we're going to just we're going to work on hitting our shot, and then hands are up. I'm going to backpedal again, so I'm going to hit, and I'm going to have my hands up. I'm simulating coming to the net every single time. Again, my hands are up. You need to make sure that is muscle memory. Let's do a couple backhands now, okay? So I'm going to do a backhand approach, and then into the volley. So I'm going to do my backhand approach, come in, hands are up. Let's do 2 more. Here we are. Backhand approach, hands are up, and 1 more. Backhand approach, hands are up. And then once I have my hands up, then I can go in for the volley. The second reason why players are missing their volleys, they lose control of their volleys, is because they do not freeze their racket at contact, okay? Guys, they make their racket is like this, right? They hit the volley, and then it goes down, or they swing at the volley. They do tons of this stuff, okay? I always tell all my students, for the forehand and the backhand, you need to make sure that you're loose, right? You need to let the racket do the work. But for the volleys, I like to say, think of it like a handshake. You want to make sure that you are firm. You want to make sure that racket is firm. You don't want a ton of movement. The more movement that you do on your volley, the more that you're going to miss, okay? So, a lot of players do this, right? And the ball sprays long, goes in the net. Instead of doing that, I want you to do this. After you're done the volley, you want to make sure that your racket face is pointing to your target. That'll also help you with shot direction as well. So again, for the backhand volley, my racket face is frozen every single time, right? I'm not swinging for my volley. I'm stepping, right? And the racket face is frozen every single time. If you guys can freeze your racket at and after contact, you will be able to get a much more consistent volley. If you ever feel like you can't control your volley, get your camcorder out. Why did I say camcorder? What are we in, 2000s? It's 2022. Get your iPhone out, get your phone out, record yourself, and check yourself hitting. Are you doing this, or are you doing this once you're done the volley? If you still have trouble, if you can't control yourself, and there's players that I work with, no matter what they can do, they just can't stop their racket. They have to swing. They have to let the racket go. For the forehand volley, what I want you to do is I want you to stick your racket out, get your non-dominant hand, put it on your wrist, right? And just work on hitting some volleys. And you're going to squeeze your wrist with your opposite hand. That's going to make sure your racket is in the proper place and not moving around. So again, I'm going to hit a couple volleys and squeeze my wrist, right? I'm just keeping my hand in place, right? And I'm not doing a death grip, right? But I'm not being loose. It's a firm grip. So let's do 2 more. Freeze and 1 more, okay? And same thing on the backhand volley. You can do it as well. Grip your wrist and just work on keeping that racket up. And notice every single time I do this, you guys can see what? My strings, right? My racket face is pointing to the target. Right now, I'm pretending that I'm hitting the ball to you guys, to my phone, right, that's recording me. Now the last tip. If you guys ever hit the ball in the net, you guys hit those good volleys, right? Fast ones, you're perfect. But then you get that high-low floater or that high floater, and what do? Net it, right? Why do players net the ball on those high floaters? It's because that there's no pace on the volleys. Usually a lot of volleys, topspin drives right at you. When you come up to the net, your opponent's probably going to hit a lot of pace, right? Say if you're coming up to net to me, I want to hit it right at you, right? I want to try to hit a pass or hit it right at you with a lot of power. I'm not going to just pop it up in the air because what can you do? You can smash it. But when players do pop it up in the air, sometimes we miss because of one thing, right? It's because we have to create our own pace. It's not coming, right? For normal volleys, you're just going to block it back and it's going to bounce right back to your opponent, right? But those high ones with no pace, they just go like this, right? They go like this and in the net, or they go like this. They're doing the tip that we just went over, the freezing racket, and it goes in the net. It's because you're not getting your momentum into the ball. So I need you to make sure that you step every single time. I say this in all my volley videos. For the forehand volley, you want to step with your left foot. For the backhand volley, you want to step with the right foot. But especially when you have those high, no pace balls, you need to get your body into it. You need to get your momentum, okay? We're going to put the Topspin Pro right here, okay? So this, pretend right here is where I get a high ball, right? So a lot of players do this. Say I have a high ball. Say it's right above the Topspin Pro, if you guys can see it, right? It's snowing out right now, so we had to be indoors, right? So it's a high ball. What a lot of players do is that they go up like this and they don't step, or they just move forward and they go like this, right? No momentum, the ball goes into the net. You need to run through those volleys with no pace, right? If I have a ball right here, it's a forehand volley, watch what I'm gonna do. Boom, let's do two more, right? So I'm gonna split, move through it, my hands are up like we're working on, right? Look at that intensity that I'm using in my legs, right? You guys need to run through those balls. You guys need to move through those high balls, and you guys will be able to hit a better volley. So let's just review. Number one, you need to make sure that your ready position, your hands are up and out in front. Number two, you want to make sure that you freeze at contact. If you need to freeze at contact, if you're having trouble with that, remember, you want to grab your wrist and then make contact. And last but not least, make sure that you're stepping and you're getting your momentum into the balls. If you do that, you will be able to hit better volleys and win more points on court. Guys, when friends ask you, why are you winning so many more matches and points, tell them it's because you follow Tennis with Tyler. Have a good one, guys, and happy hitting.